Water is one of the basic fundamental building blocks of life.
Water is a really big deal. If you're out in the West, everybody knows about water. Everything is about water. It's a finite resource.
Water determines where our communities are, and that binds us together. We're all connected in this story.
Everyone is dependent on water for everything we do, from the food we grow to our drinking, our health, our recreation even.
You know for sure that the state of Oklahoma is not going to grow, it's not going to be more prosperous if it doesn't have the water it needs.
So the issue of water conservation will be at the forefront, whether we're farmers or we live in the city.
We live in a very difficult place in the United States for being dependent on weather and being dependent on water.
How do we conserve it? How do we use it? How do we allocate it? We have to make sure that we understand these issues, and that's embedded in the story of our history. Oklahoma was one of the last agricultural frontiers in the continental United States. And the first non-Indian settlement did not happen until 1889. Those people coming here were not looking for this romantic view of living on the edge of frontier. They were looking for land that would produce the crops that would get the best price in the market. Oklahoma's soil may be good for crops, but we happen to be on the marginal fringe of enough rain to grow all these crops.
We are in the perfect breeding ground of where storms develop, and just a small change in a storm path could either mean that storms develop west of here or storms develop east of here. And so we're just right in that hot spot where we can either get a lot of rain or no rain at all.
With the scientific farming, with the greater production, they were putting in wheat crops on hundreds and thousands of acres. People had this boom time mentality. It was like a gold rush. Well, it worked in the 1920s, but here comes the 1930s. Not only does the price of wheat go through the basement, but the rains quit coming. And when the wheat doesn't grow, what do you have in these thousands of acres? Nothing but dirt. Well, you expand that to a worldwide economy with this microcosm of distress in western Oklahoma, and we call it the Great Depression. Locally, we call it the Dust Bowl. It was a desperate time, but Oklahoma's found a way to get through it, and we started correcting almost immediately with soil conservation and erosion control and trying to improve scientific farming.
I remember vividly my mother describing the Dust Bowl, and I think a lot of those memories are still embedded in our DNA in Oklahoma, and for those reasons, we understand the value of water.
I get up every day and think about water, how to manage it, how to save it, how to store it up, how to use it properly. I think the same thing, exact same thing, should be said of someone waking up in the urban area, whether it's how you take care of your lawn or how you wash your car or the projects you support or don't support in development in your area. Think about how that water affects you.
Agriculture is the largest user of water in our state, but that's important because we have to produce crops and we have to produce food for our people.
In school, I was always intrigued by science and biology, and that's a perfect fit for farming. My dad grew up in an era where if you worked hard, and trusted God and was frugal with your money, for the most part, you could be successful at farming. We've evolved to the point where the margins have become so tight, it's a truly world economy. At the same time, we live in a society that expects, and rightfully so, that the environment be cared for. Water has become one of the most precious commodities we have. From 2011 to 2015, it didn't rain much, and we were one of the driest parts of the state. What limited funds we had, instead of buying other things, we went to heavily investing into water conservation to make every drop of water count here in rural America.
Advancements in our research for irrigation and crop production can be carried over to our urban areas.
Cooking and gardening are my first loves. We have a 2-acre farm garden in cultivation. We grow everything from winter to summer vegetables, to typically go 35 to 40 weeks out of the year.
And one of the things that we do that's good for water conservation is drip irrigation. The water just goes down to the roots of the plants that you're growing. This happens to be some heirloom lettuces.
We try to be the best that we can possibly be, which means we just water when it needs it. When you first start out growing, I think everybody uses way too much.
Sometimes we got to be careful about the term conservation.
Conservation is an everyday thing that we do.
We don't want people to get the impression that's only something we do during a drought.
It's not only about conservation, it's also about finding and potentially using marginal waters in the state. We've seen some interest from communities for water reuse on golf courses and parks and things like that.
In this profession, what we're doing is providing a playing surface, and it's up to us as turf managers to figure out how we make that happen with the limited resources we have. We are using a reclaimed effluent water. It's a great water to use. We're not wasting potable water. We're putting out water that needs to be reused, and it's got to be put somewhere. It's just being environmentally responsible. Reuse what you've got. This line right here is the line coming in from the effluent tank outside. This is going out to the property from here, and this is our fertigation injection system. So what this is doing is helping me combat salt, bicarbonate that's in the effluent water, making the water better water to use for turf applications.
So it's always great when we can reuse water or find uses for reclaimed or gray water.
Oh, you need water to live, to keep yourself clean, and you need water to have fun. You got recreational boaters that come out here, and we have a lot of camping areas and picnic areas that they can go to. People come out here and fish.
This is Arcadia Lake, where Edmond gets half of its water. The other half comes from the 56 groundwater wells. During the summer months, we're running 10 million gallons per day. There's a lot of effort that goes into ensuring that clean water is delivered to each house. Each year, $4.5 million is spent operating and maintaining just the water treatment plant to treat the water. We all take great pride in delivering a safe, clean product to our customers.
Oklahoma State University, we partner with municipalities across our state. We want to educate their customers to use water wisely and responsibly, how to conserve water around their home or their business.
It seemed to be that in Oklahoma City, if you were of means and you wanted to have a green lawn, that you kind of had the free rein to water your lawn all you wanted, as long as you were willing to pay for it. But we finally decided, it's probably an irresponsible cultural aspect of the community to let people think that water is not a precious resource. And even if it's just because other people don't have enough water, we should cherish water a little more than we do.
Most everyone knows about easy ways to save water around their home, such as taking shorter showers or turning off the water when you brush your teeth. But we also have excellent resources for how to save water outdoors, how to select drought-tolerant plants for your yard, how to select the best lawn grass for your yard, how to irrigate it properly and use less water but still keep it green and healthy and alive and still have a beautiful landscape. We use teaching tools like water conservation gardens, where we show native plants and introduced plants to do quite well with little to no irrigation. The average Oklahoma homeowner may use 7,000 gallons of water per month, and that may jump up to 10 or 15,000 gallons of water per month in the summer. If we can get the individual homeowner to save 3,000 or 4,000 gallons of water per month by reducing the amount of water they use outdoors, then they can save money on the water bill and we can extend the life of our water resources.
Water is such a fundamental issue in Oklahoma. It has relevance and importance across the state. Importance beyond the capacity of one institution.
What we try to do is support research throughout the state, from the large-scale watershed level all the way down to the individual homeowner level.
We have people in engineering, people in arts and sciences, people in the business school, as well as people in our Division of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. There are people at University of Oklahoma. There are people at University of Tulsa. Oklahoma State really has a unique mission, and that is to bring people together from these different institutions or from different departments on the OSU campus to address those needs.
History is often written with a broad brush. Oklahoma did this, the United States did this, the world did this. Well, I like to take history back down to the individual level. It's the same with water resources. You have to get down to the individual level.
I think it's to Oklahoma's benefit if we can be mindful that water is a precious resource.
Certainly, drought gets everyone's attention. The fear is when the rains come, people forget about drought.
Freshwater sources that we have are in limited supply, and we need to be much more responsible with how we're using it. Our livelihood's based on it.
We as individuals can say we can make a difference.
Whether you're living in the city or out in the country, we both receive rainfall, we're both using water, and the choices we make in life dictate how water is used.
Whether in times of drought or abundant rainfall, all Oklahomans should take care to use water wisely. Oklahoma State University provides a wealth of resources for businesses, consumers, and policymakers. It's up to everyone to make the most out of our precious water resources, today and for generations to come. To learn how OSU helps our cities and states save water, visit ThinkWater.okstate.edu.